Okay, so let me quickly reread it. So we have a lot of transactions. The following was extracted from Seabread for January 2017. So January 1st, balance on cash. And then January 1st, again, bank overdraft. Then we have sold goods on credit to Kwame, received a check from Mensa. Kwame paid his account in full by check, sold goods for cash, paid cash into bank, cash purchases, paid Jude by check, less 10% discount, paid wages by check, paid Tony by cash, less 20% discount. So you don't need a soothsayer to be able to determine that you are definitely required to prepare the 3-column cash book. So that is what we have here, our 3-column cash book with the discounts allowed on the debit and discount received on the credit. Okay. Now I want to comment on this bank overdraft. Or better still, let me do it this way. When you check the first two transactions, it says balance on cash and then bank overdraft. Now the first one, balance on cash, means that at the beginning of the month, we had some amount of money in cash. Okay, and you remember, if you in accounting, if you want to record a balance, you use the balance brought down at the beginning of the period. So if you remember, when we're balancing account, the balance brought down date is normally around the first. So when you see a balance on the first, that's a balance brought down. Okay. But then the bank overdraft. A bank overdraft is a balance on the bank that gives us, or that behaves or has a credit balance. So let me take you back and speak about this bank overdraft well. Or better still, you can note it somewhere that our bank account can assume a credit balance. We know from the beginning that bank has a debit balance, right? And for that matter, bank is an asset. But bank can also have a credit balance. And when bank assumes a credit balance, we call it a bank overdraft. Bank overdraft. So note that somewhere because it's very, very important. Now the question is, can cash also have a credit balance? Never. Cash will never and can never. I'm emphasizing it again. Cash can never and will never have a credit balance. Worst case scenario, your cash account will go to zero, but it cannot attain a negative. On the other hand, your bank account can attain a negative figure. And that's what we say, or what we refer to as bank overdraft. So a bank overdraft means the balance on the bank account is credit. And for that matter, a bank overdraft is a current liability. It is a liability. That's why it assumes a credit balance. What is it at all? An overdraft is a type of short-term loan given to bank customers. Okay. And if I want to give it a specific customer, this is given to, we call those customers current account holders. Write some of these things in your jotters because you are going to need them in your objective test. So an overdraft is given to current account. When you go to the bank, we have types of account. We have fixed deposit. You have savings account. We have the current account. Okay. I'm sure you are familiar with the savings account, but those customers do not get overdraft. It is the current account holders. See, the current account is normally operated by people who can do a lot of transactions within a day. In a day, they can deposit and withdraw like 1,000,000 times, 1,000 times. Okay. So the bank can allow them this type of short-term arrangement where they can withdraw more than what they have in their bank account. So if, let's say for instance, the balance in their bank account is 1,000, the bank can allow them to withdraw 1,500. So the 500 becomes the bank overdraft or that negative balance. Okay. I think I've spoken about the contra entry. So now that we have knowledge of this bank overdraft, we can go and look at our illustration. But any question on the bank overdrafts? If you have questions, you can ask. Are we okay with the bank overdrafts? Okay, so quick highlight, a bank overdraft means a bank with a credit balance. Because in normal circumstance, bank should have a debit balance, which is our asset bank. If it becomes a credit, that's a bank overdraft, which is a liability. So take note of this. So in this question, we are being told that on 1st January, we had a balance on bank. On cash, and then a balance on the bank, but it's an overdraft. So balance on bank, that's your balance brought down. And we all know cash has a debit balance. Cash has a debit balance. So 1st January, you indicate balance brought down. And you put it under the cash column, 24,000. So this is how you record any opening balance when you are preparing a cash book. Your balance brought down, you put the amount at the appropriate column. We would have done same for bank, but unfortunately for bank, it's an overdraft. So an overdraft is a credit balance. So we go to the credit side, indicate our date first. I'm using this type of date because I already have my January 2017 there. So first balance brought down. And under the bank column, we put the 30,000 there. So that is how you record opening balance. Use your balance brought down. Then we can now proceed. January 1st, sold goods on credit to Kwame. Dear professors, are we supposed to record this in the cash book? And if yes, do we debit or credit? If no, why? Sold goods on credit. Who is ready to do this for me? Holy Spirit, Prof. Alexia.
Sir.
Yes. Well, can you come again? We didn't hear you.
Please, I wanted to say that so I don't think it will be. Oh my goodness. So sis, I don't know.
Oh, you started on well, and then you see the devil is trying to confuse the Holy Spirit by saying, "Don't say it, don't say it." You get it wrong. Yes, you are making a very accurate point. What you were thinking is the right thing. It will not be in the cash book because this is a credit transaction, and credit transactions don't have any receipt or payment of cash or check. If you sell goods on credit to somebody, you don't take money, right? So there was nothing like that. So it will not be in this cash book. It would have been in the sales day book because this sold goods on credit to Kwame. Good. So sometimes don't let the devil confuse you again. Think what you are thinking and say it with a full chest because that's the accurate thing. Thank you. So we are not going to record this one.
Yes.
in the cash book because it's a credit sale transaction. Good. So move to the next one. 2nd January, received check from Mensa. So here we are receiving check from Mensa. So there is a receipt of check. So we go into our debit side. 2nd, received a check from Mensa. So we are going to indicate Mensa. And we'll put it at the bank column, 18,000. Okay. Next, which is January 8th. Kwame paid his account in full by check, 33,600 naira. So who is Kwame in the first place? And when we go back, we realize that Kwame was the person we sold goods to on credit, right? So he's now coming to pay. So it means that we are now going to receive the money from Kwame. So it is a receipt. And for that matter, we have to debit it. So on the 8th, so we indicate Kwame here. But before we put in the amount, let's analyze something. How I wish one of you would have given me what I'm expecting. But anyway, let me tease your brains. Kwame is the customer or the debtor we sold to for 36,000. And they are now telling us that he paid his account in full by check for 33,600. Does it ring or sound anything that you want to tell me? I don't want to say it. You sold the goods to the person for 36,000, but in paying in full, he paid 33,600. Is there not something fishy there you want to fish out for me? Prof. Frank, tell me what you are thinking because that's the right. Or let me come to Prof. Alexia. Is it not hinting you on something, especially with this 3-column card? Okay, I think Frank wants to give the first say. Frank, go ahead. Let's listen. Oh, we can't hear Prof. Frank. Or he's now gathering his points. Oh, okay. Prof. Frank, please adjust yourself. I needed to adjust myself. So, pardon me, let me share the screen so that we go on. Okay, Prof. Frank, can you hear me now? Can you tell us what you wanted to say about we selling to Kwame 36,000 and he paying in full with just 33,600?
He paying in full 33,600. It means that he was allowed discount.
Oh, Massa, I produce, you have made me enter French. What am I saying? Can I enter French or I entered France? Yeah, you have made me enter France, and I want to speak in French. Applaudissez, monsieur Franquet. That is brilliant. So It is a clear yeah, Prof. Alessia is giving it up for Frank. That's good. I appreciate that. Let me go to China and speak some Chinese. Le coin le apprendre soin la ka positive. Okay, so that's just on the funny side, but that point is well made. So we sold goods to Kwame 36. He's paying in full. So it means that we allowed him a discount, right? So what is the discount? How much is it? Let me see the calculator. 36,000 minus 33,000. So we gave him a discount of 2,400. So that 2,400, you put it at the discount allowed column, and then the net figure which he paid 33,600 will go under the bank column because he did the payment via check. Okay, so that is how you record the discount. You put it, and then the net figure goes to the cash or bank column, depending on what is given in the question. So thank you very much. That was an awesome contribution. For a whole Prof. Alessia, the Holy Spirit, to give you some applause, it means that you have done well. Okay, so let's move on. January 10th, sold goods for cash. So the business is selling goods and receiving cash. So that should be debited because it's a receipt. So 10th January, sales. We put it under the cash, 15,000. Okay. Then the next one, paid cash of 9,000 into bank. So there's another contra entry, right? We are depositing cash into bank. We are paying cash into bank. So who is paying? Cash is paying and bank is receiving. Okay, so we are going to debit bank who is receiving. So let's do the debit first. On the 12th of January, bank is receiving from cash. So we debit bank 9,000. Okay. Don't forget your contra sign because there's a contra entry. Okay, then we do the credit entry for the cash. So on that same date 12, we are crediting cash. So we are on the credit side of cash in the name of bank. Put our contra. And under cash, we put 9,000. So take your time on the contra so that you don't make any mistake. Look at who is paying and credits, and look at who is receiving and debit. Who here could be the cash or bank? Good. So we move to the next one, which is on the 12th again, cash purchases. So this time the business is paying. Okay, Prof has raised his hands. Prof Frank, go ahead if it's a question.
I thought you said cash book. Cash can never have a what do you call it? Credit balance.
Yes.
So cash purchases 3,000.
Yeah.
The cash is a credit balance. So does that mean that?
Oh no. Don't confuse yourself, Prof Frank. When I say cash will never have a credit balance, it doesn't mean that we don't credit the cash account. No. We have been crediting the cash anytime we make payment of cash. But I'm saying at the end of the period, when you are doing your balance carried down, brought down, that's the balancing I'm talking about. When you open your cash account and you are balancing it, it will never have a credit balance. But as for the entries, debit cash, credit cash, that is Okay, but I'm talking about the final balance when you are done and you are looking for the total on both sides and the difference, so that you call it balance carried down, balance brought down. That is what I'm saying. Cash will never have a credit balance. Are you okay on that?
Okay, sir, I'm okay.
Good. So here, cash purchases, we are going to credit cash, right? We are making a credit entry in the cash account. Okay. So on the 12th of, that also happened on the 12th. Purchases. We'll put it under the cash column. $3,000. Okay, let me bring this cash book down. It seems to be climbing. Okay. So there we have. Then the next one, 13th, paid due by check. 10,000 less 10% discount. So we are making payment. So on the 13th, narration will be due 10,000 less 10% discount. So it means that we have to calculate the discount, 10% of the 10,000. I think that will be 1,000. Okay, so meaning that Jude is going to pay us how much net amount? 9,000, right? Because 10,000 less 10%, which is 1,000. The net figure, it should be under the bank column because he paid us check. Or sorry, we paid him check. So 9,000. The next one, paid wages by check. So another payment, which is on the 15th, wages under the check, 500. The next one, Tony paid, or paid Tony, sorry, paid Tony by cash, less 20% discount. So we are making another payment on the 17th. Tony. So we need to calculate the 20% on 9,000. I think that's 1,800. So the net figure will be 7,200 for Tony. So you see how you record the discount. You just do the calculation, record it, and the net amount will go to the bank or cash column. On the 18th, cash sales paid directly into bank. So we sold goods and we paid the money into bank. So bank was receiving from sales, right? So we debit that. 18th, sales. So we made sales and paid it into the bank. That's what it means. 12,000 naira. And then finally, paid wages by cash. So 22nd, wages, this time cash. So we put it under the cash column, 900. And that is all for your entries, right? So what we need to do now is to balance the 3 column cash. And please pay attention to this balancing. So if you are balancing it, this is what you do. Do it column by column. You balance your cash column first, followed by your bank column, as in do it separately. For the discount columns, you don't balance with carry down, brought down. You just need the total. So let's focus on the cash column first. This side, which is the debit side, when we add 24 and 15 is 39,000. When we compare with this side, that's 12,900. So this side is bigger. So that's 39,000. So that will be the total for the cash, 39,000. When we check the difference, 39,000 minus 12,900, that's 26,100. So that becomes the balance carried down. Balance carried down. And you use the closing date, 31st January. So that is for the cash. You can bring down the balance, or better still finish with the bank account. For the bank account, debit side, we have 18,000 plus 33,600 plus 9,000 plus 12,000. That's 72,600. When you compare to this side, I think this side is bigger, 72,600. So we use that as the total. Then we less 30,000 minus 9,000 minus 500 minus 7,200. That's 25,000. So our balance carried down would be 25,900. And since you already have the balance carried down there, you don't need to go down again and repeat balance carried down. You put it on the same line. If it had come to this session, you can now write your balance carried down, right? Then finally, you bring it down to, from January come to February, same 2017, but this time first. Balance brought down. And under the cash, we have a balance brought down of 26,100. Under the bank, we have 25,900. Now for the discount columns, this is what you do. Under discount received, you put the total. So 1,000 plus 1,800, 2,800, and that is all. Please don't balance it with anything. Just put the totals there like that. Okay, so under the discount allowed, we just had 2,400. Okay, so that will be it for the 3-column cashbook. Again, you can be asked to post to the ledgers. Now, if you are posting to the ledgers, especially for the discount allowed and discount received, you don't have to do any bigger magic, right? All you have to do is to take the total, discount allowed will go to the general ledger. You debit it for discount allowed, it's an expense. And then for the discount received, you credit it again in the general ledger. And that is it for the 3-column guide. Let's check for the individual entries and which ledgers they'll go to. Okay. Let me shift it down a bit so we can have the full guide. Okay. So if you come to this side, you have Mensa here, and this is the receipt side. So who are you receiving from? You receive money from your debtors. So this Mensa is a debtor, will go into which ledger? Sales ledger. Kwame is a debtor, will go into the sales ledger. Sales account will go to the general ledger. cash account will not go anywhere. Sales account will go to the general ledger. And when you come to this side, first bank, in fact, the balance brought downs will not go anywhere because they are in it. I was finishing on the postings. So Jude is a creditor. We'll go to the purchases ledger. Wages will go to the general ledger. Tony is also a creditor. We'll go to the purchases ledger. And wages again will go to the wages account in the general ledger, right? Okay, Prof. Alessia was not around, but I'm sure she would make use of the recording. So that is for the 3-column cash book. I think she was around when we did the first discount. So if there is a discount, just work out the discount and put it at the discount column. If it is discount allowed, which is visible when you are receiving money. So you put it at the debit side. And if it is you paying money and you are receiving some discount, you put it under the discount received column, right? And that is all about your 3-column cash book. Any questions for me? Today I have delayed you a bit. So those of you who have next class, I'm sorry. But I hope we are okay. You won't say anything. Okay, so your silence means that you are okay. If you need to watch the videos, please kindly do so. I will share the videos and then also bombard you with some assignments since you are going to have a long weekend.
Yes, please.
Okay, so if there's nothing from your end, it's a wrap. Thank you very much for staying through, especially on Prof. Alessia. Your network seems to worry, but you